Hey, how y'all doing once again, everybody? How y'all doing once again, everybody? We here Between Brothers Barbershop, 2413 Midland. Today I got my boy Eric Montgomery with me today. What's going on, man? We're going to talk a little bit, again, about careers. Yes, the other day we talked to the judge, the Honorable Stephen Tabor, about what he does and where he come from. Today we're going to talk to Eric today. Eric, so tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
Well, I was born here in Fort Smith. I grew up over in Roland, Oklahoma, right across the border here, in the country.
A country boy, huh?
Yeah, you know.
All right.
Country boy, city boy, you know.
Right,
a little bit of both, you know. Intertwined, you know, because we got the country over here and then we got a little city right here. So kind of back and forth. But I got my first payroll job over at Rally's Hamburgers on Towson when I was 15.
Okay.
So I've always been in Fort Smith, you know.
Right.
We grew up in Roland, but you know, that involves daily trips in and out of Fort Smith. You know,
Right.
I started working here when I was 15. Been at it ever since, pretty much. So bought a little house over in Van Buren about 10 or 11 years ago, but I'll always be Fort Smith, you know.
Okay.
This is where I cut my teeth. This is my stomping ground.
North side or south side?
North side.
North side,
Yeah,
okay.
I actually had a place over on North 34th, and some of the older heads from back in that time period will remember me, you know.
Okay.
You know, out here,
Right.
you know, cutting up.
Right.
So it's been a long road, but you know, we're continuing to grow. But yeah, I definitely have my younger days where I did some nonsense.
The knucklehead stuff.
Knucklehead stuff.
Okay.
Fortunately, I got lucky, really lucky, quite a few times.
All right.
And didn't get stuck with a felony or anything too serious.
Okay.
By the grace of God.
Right.
You know, but it wasn't because I wasn't a knucklehead. I just was blessed.
Right.
You know,
Okay.
say that.
Right. So again, we have a local gentleman here from the local area talking about what he does. So again, Eric, how old are you these days, Eric?
I'm 41.
41. Okay.
41
Not too much older than younger. Excuse me. Not too much younger than myself. I'm 43. So again, Eric grew up around the time frame when I grew up, where our parents drilled into our heads to go to college. And like myself, you did go to school, correct?
I did go to school.
Okay.
I started college. I graduated high school at 17.
Right.
So I started college then.
Mm-hmm.
I went to Carl Albert for a couple years.
Right.
I was one class shy of a associate's in pre-law. And then I went up to Tahlequah at Northeastern State and went about a year there. And that's where I kind of fell out of school and started getting into some things I shouldn't have been into, you know,
Okay.
the wrong crowd. So
you did a typical college boy thing, right?
You know, kind of,
For lack of better terms.
but you know, I was kind of a nerd in high school,
Okay.
and kind of an outcast. Got bullied a lot, you know.
Okay.
And so when I got into college and found that acceptance, you know, everything changed from high school to college, and I was so hungry for that, you know,
Right.
that acceptance.
Okay.
And so, you know, that peer pressure and that need to want to be accepted into something,
Okay.
you know, will really, you know, can drive you to do some things that you might regret later. But
Okay.
But yeah, so I went back at 36.
Okay.
So just a few years ago, I went back here at John Brown University
Okay.
and finished my bachelor's degree in organizational management. So with a lot of hard work and dedication, I was able to put a 4-year degree into 20 years.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's how long it takes.
You know, I had to work a little harder than some others, but I got it in that 20 years.
Right.
You know?
We got a viewer here who I went to school with, Rashad Blackman. What's going on, Shad? How you doing?
How you doing, Shad?
Rashad here. He's a barber as well.
Okay.
You know,
okay.
You know, so I said all that to say, you know, I went to school, okay, and I'm not working in my field of expertise of logistics management. So when our parents would tell us to go to college, or you'll have a dead end job per se, or you
Right.
won't amount to much of anything. So again, you went to college because we grew up in that area where you had to go to college. So
Let me say something though on that point. Like the position I have now, I had the position that I have now before I graduated.
Before you get there,
Okay.
before we get there. Okay,
my bad.
We're not there yet. I'm leading up to something.
Okay,
I'm leading up to something. Okay. So I said all that to say that again, we grew up. Our parents were leading to a dead end job. You won't have nothing. And when I say that, and I say this every segment, that it's okay to have our kids go to college because we need white collar workers, but we also need blue collar workers.
That's right.
Because if we didn't have the blue collar workers, we wouldn't have people who make us look fly with our haircuts per se. We wouldn't have people who have to paint the lines on the streets. We wouldn't have those buildings that our white collar workers work in. We wouldn't have those desks that are built for those white collar workers to sit behind. So with all that being said, I'm a firm believer to encourage our children to do whatever they want to do. Do we want our children to go to college? Sure, but not everyone's college material. So let me get off that subject for the time being. You know what I'm saying? We got Lena here watching. Hey Lena, how you doing?
Hey Lena.
So what is it that you do now? What industry?
Okay, so
before we get into the specifics, so I know what you do for a living and I know where you're at.
Right.
So what industry do you work in now?
So I work in the airline industry.
In the airline industry.
Or broader, I guess you could say the transportation industry.
Transportation industry, which is, okay, now let's say the transportation industry, which is my field of expertise, which is logistics.
Right.
Beans, bullets, and fuel, and sometimes people. Okay, so you work in the transportation industry. Okay, when you started working in the transportation industry, what position did you start out working in?
So
baggage claim, personnel, ticket counter, per se, what?
So I left UPS because I hated it.
You don't hear too many people say they hated working at UPS.
Before that, I worked at the bakery downtown for about 6 years and made good money. But I left when that closed down, got on with UPS, and I absolutely hated the UPS. I joined the union. I was in the door.
Right.
I left that and I started at American Eagle, which is American Airlines' wholly owned, regional carrier.
Right.
For $9.20 an hour.
$9.20 an hour. And how long ago was this?
This was almost 14 years ago. And I was sweeping the floor, mopping the floor, loading the bags, checking in the customers.
Hold on, let me back up for a second. $9.20 an hour 14 years ago.
Right.
Okay. So, and the national minimum wage right now is still in the $7 range, I think, if I'm not mistaken. $7.25 in some states. So we're talking 14 years ago, this man was making $9.20 an hour. And this year in the state of Arkansas, the minimum wage rate jumped to $11. So 14 years ago, he was making $1.75 less than what he's making today, what the minimum wage is today in the state of Arkansas. Okay, so put that into perspective, okay? So go ahead.
Well, I think the only way to put it, really to put that in perspective, is just that, I hated what I was doing, and I took a lot of flack. I took a lot of flack from family and friends, and a lot of people, they told me, you're nuts, you're insane if you leave UPS, where you can become a driver and, make some really good money to go do that. But I went to the interview because after the bakery shut down, I was on unemployment. Okay. And I had to fill out 3 applications a week. Right. So I was actually booking a flight for my wife, and I said, you know what, before dinner, I'm just going to fill this out. Well, they called me. I went to the interview, and a man by the name of John Hubert and Tracy Moody and Larry Ross were the managers, and they interviewed me. And I just knew, man, like I felt it in my chest.
Right. You got that gut feeling,
I felt it in my chest that this is what I'm supposed to do. And so I just walked away from everything else, and I put myself 100% into that job.
Okay. So
and I just felt it. It was for me.
So they say, when you enjoy and love what you do, you never have a bad day at work anymore.
That's true.
So what you're saying is when you love what you do, you really love what you do. You know what I mean? You always have to start somewhere and better yourself. That you're right, Lena. You have to start somewhere. So when you love what you do, you really enjoy going to work. You don't have a bad day at work. You're enthused and happy to go to work every day. You see what I'm saying? Is that how you feel about your job?
Absolutely. I mean, the last 14 years, when I started, I was on a morning shift, and I was with three girls. The supervisor was Tracy and a couple other girls, and I would fuel the equipment every day, sweep the floors. I was always busy trying to find something to do because I was happy.
Right.
And they would cook breakfast every morning, and just the atmosphere, and the atmosphere we've tried to maintain here in Fort Smith over the years. It's like a family unit, you know. And I had never been in a job that felt like that.
Okay.
And I'd also never been in a job where you know, my manager John.
Right.
I had cleaned up equipment shed. I went out and cleaned up this equipment shed. And he gave me a positive little write-up,
right,
saying that you know, thanks for being proactive and cleaning out the shed and all this stuff.
Right.
And of all my years of working, I'd never had anybody say to me, "Good job, appreciate that."
Right. You felt it. Yeah.
So just that little piece of paper, you know, in my personnel file, I felt like that was the moment that I felt like I can do this.
Right. You felt appreciated. You felt like you. An attaboy. You know
I can make a career out of this.
Right.
You know?
Right. So you say you've been working there 14 years.
14 years.
14 years now.
14
okay.
years.
So 14 years in the transportation industry. So let's put this in perspective. Okay. I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, which is a really big city. And Fort Smith, from your knowledge, is how big of a city?
Somewhere around 100,000. I think 80.
Anywhere between 80 to 100,000 people. So that's the second or largest city in Arkansas, correct? Second or third largest city in Arkansas. I think
so, depending on how the little different suburbs in northwest Arkansas are, you know, they're growing individually. So, but, you know,
so that's fair to say top 5?
Oh, yeah, top 3.
Top 3 cities in Arkansas.
Top 3.
So at the airport here in Fort Smith, how big is the airport?
You know, it's considered a regional airport. You know, obviously no international freight or anything like that. I mean, we have tons of international passengers, but no international flights directly out of here. So it's a relatively small operation. I mean, we've had 7 flights a day at times. You know, we're now at 3 flights, and we're getting ready to ramp back up to 4 in March.
Okay.
Before X&A was built, this airport had, you know, 25 flights a day.
Okay, so X&A is Fayetteville's airport.
Correct.
Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Correct.
Okay, so people know what X&A is.
Yeah.
Okay, so right now at the airport, what do you do now after 14 years at the airport?
Okay, so on exactly 3 years to my hire date, I was promoted to, at the time we had what was called a lead agent.
Lead agent, okay.
I made it to lead agent. And that's when I took on a leadership role.
Leadership
position,
okay.
You know, about 11 years ago, it's when I really
We got Stephen Dye watching. What's up, Stephen?
Hey, Stephen. How you doing,
Stephen
brother?
Doe, excuse me. Stephen
hey, Doe. What's up, Doe? Yeah, I know Doe. He was one of my brother's really good friends growing up.
Stephen Doe. Okay. I'm listening.
Yep. He's a barber too now, right?
Yeah, Stephen's a barber, yeah.
So
Steve need to come work out between brothers, but we ain't gonna say that. I'm sorry, Steven. I should have said that. I apologize, Steven. But go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
I'm proud of Steven. You know, he was like me. You know what we were talking about earlier, doing knucklehead things and stuff, and you know, just like me. You know, I see him. You know, he got his things together, and you know, got a career and stuff like that. So. You know, all the guys, I may not see them and be able to tell them, but I see them doing things, and I'm proud of them.
Right.
So
I got little old Walls is watching. You know what I'm saying? Okay. What's up, Walls? I'm listening.
So what was I saying? So I got
3 years to your hire date.
I got promoted into leadership, and so I started traveling around. You know, I've worked in like 25 or 26 different airports.
Okay.
Helping with different things like training the manager, doing financial audits, you know, this kind of thing. But so here in Fort Smith, we're kind of a standalone operation. You know, we're on an island. We're you know, Dallas is 5 hours if you drive. Yeah. And it's
who's driving.
Yeah, and it's 227 miles as the crow flies, you know, in an airplane.
Right.
So we're on an island here, so we have to take care of ourselves.
Right.
You know, if something's messed up, we got to get it fixed.
Exactly.
We got to order our own supplies. You know, I do the budget. So basically, me and my team, I have 3 managers that work with me, and we do everything. You know, from the hiring to the budget. I involve my team in everything.
Okay.
They're really the ones that keep the wheels turning.
Okay. So for lack of better terms, you're that guy. You're the boss. For lack of better terms.
I am the general manager.
Okay.
Here in Fort Smith. I've never liked that term, manager. I wish they called us general leaders. I always love the title of lead.
Right.
Lead man, lead or whatever, because management and leadership are two vastly different things.
Right. Again, we have another person I went to. Sorry. We have another person I went to school with, watching Nicaila Shelton. How you doing, Nicaila?
Hey, Nicaila.
Yeah. So you're the GM of the airline here at Fort Smith.
Yeah. That's
okay.
Correct.
Okay. Well, that's good, man. So what are some of the perks of working for the airline here? A subsidiary of American Airlines.
Okay, well, one of the biggest ones, is flight privileges.
And what are some of those? We got Cody K here. I'm sorry, I got to cut you off for a second. Cody, my man Cody, he did the artwork behind his right head.
I like it.
Cody did the artwork all in the shop, all outside the shop as well. Cody, what's up, baby? Cody's also my guy, you know what I'm saying? Yo, Cody, you gonna get on this show one day, Cody. Quit hiding, Cody.
It ain't that bad.
Quit hiding, Cody. I gotta show Cody my love. Quit hiding. But I'm listening. Go ahead. So some of the perks.
Yeah, well, so we have flight privileges, which means if there's an empty seat on American Airlines flight or one of the regional carriers, you can fly anywhere in the world for free.
Now, back in the day. I know a buddy of mine. He used to work for Delta. Mm-hmm. It was him and his immediate family. Is that still true?
It extends to your parents, your spouse, your children,
that's cool.
And then after a period of time, you get passes that you can give to your, friends and people that you trust. So, but that's one of them. Insurance. One of the other great things is that like hotels, resorts. Rental cars, anything related to travel, they give us a huge discount. So anything travel related, we get huge perks there.
Right.
So if travel is something you like to do, which
who doesn't like to travel?
But before I got the job, I had flown a couple times. Mm-hmm. Flew out to Florida, and then I went to stay with my brother and sister-in-law in New York for a week. Okay. But after I got the job, I started flying, traveling like crazy, both for work and both for, leisure, just seeing the world and stuff. So it allows a person who is middle class or maybe, even not quite there yet, to travel in a way that you might not be able to, ride in first class, if it's available. And
it's funny you say that, riding first class, because my very first flight was a first class flight. So
you got spoiled.
Yeah, I got spoiled way before. Yeah, it was crazy because my very first flight ever was a first class flight, and it was on a buddy pass, believe it or not. So what do you recommend to someone who may be interested in working for the airlines, or like a flight attendant, for lack of better terms, or steward or stewardess, for lack of better terms? I don't know what's the proper.
Flight attendant's been what they say now for a long time, but that's flight department. I really don't. It's a totally separate silo. Okay. I really don't know much about. I mean, I know a lot of things about them, but I really don't know what kind of background they look for as far as I really think that if you're old enough, and the training for that job is kind of specific. There's not really any experience, I think, that prepares you to be a flight attendant, other than maybe just customer service experience. Okay. Being good with dealing with the public, and that kind of thing.
So being the GM of your area right now, how many employees do you have that work with you? Now, I've always been one of those that said we work together. Nobody works for me, being the owner of this barbershop. We work together, or you know what I'm trying to say? How many people do you have working with you?
Well, did you see my post the other day where I shared that I was looking for some folks?
Yes.
Remember how that was worded? Remember what I said?
Yeah, I can't quote it, but I remember what you said.
I said I'm looking for some co-workers. Yes. Not employees. Yes. Not and so I look at things the same way, because they are my lifeline, they keep me alive. Without them, I wouldn't be here. And so I've got 3 managers, and right now I've got 12 employees,
Okay.
coworkers.
So yeah.
So we're, with me included, we're at 16, but a lot of that is thanks to the current environment we're in.
Okay.
We had earlier in the year we had a early out package, that American offered.
Okay. So
that
a couple
had,
people retired.
So we had some of that happened and stuff like that. But now our schedule is picking a flight back up for March, and our numbers have been pretty good.
Okay.
So we're looking to add a couple team members.
That's good. Now I'm glad during the midst of this pandemic that you're able to employ a couple of people.
Absolutely.
So that's good, man, and I'm glad that you're able to come from locally here. Keep yourself in the local area, be successful in the local area. Now, with all that being said, we've talked about the professional side.
Okay.
Now, personally.
All right.
We talked the other day about you wanting to go up to Alaska with your pops.
Yeah. So I went a couple years ago, maybe 3 years ago. I went with the wife up to Alaska.
Right.
And we, landed at Anchorage.
Right.
We ended up driving up to Fairbanks.
Oh man.
Got lucky enough to see the Northern Lights.
Right.
Even though we were about a month early, we got real lucky. Got a clear view of Denali and saw some other great stuff. And then a few days later, we drove south, of Anchorage, down around the islands and stuff.
Like Ketchikan and all that.
Yeah, some of that type area. But I was with the wife. I didn't get to do any fishing. And
you ain't going fishing with your wife. No.
My dad's always been a true outdoorsman.
Right.
I mean, he truly was born. All of his friends tell him that are his age, 65, tell him he was born 100 years too late.
100 years too late.
He should have been a trapper, a mountain.
Yeah.
I mean, he did trap, but and Alaska is as close as you can come to like unspoiled, the way things used to be.
You can.
Alaska's as close as you can come to the way things used to be before
last frontier.
It was, settled and built up, and all the natural beauty was destroyed. So Alaska is about as close as you can come to seeing that. And so it's something I really want to do with Pops.
Now I'm gonna tell you, man. I lived in Alaska for 6 years, being part of the military. That's my favorite place. If I had my choice, I'd go back to Alaska tomorrow. And that's no lie. Now, I'm going to tell you something, man. You did halibut, some of the best fish in the world you could eat.
No doubt.
Salmon. You go up to Alaska, catch salmon as long as this table right here. Oh, man. Silvers, pinks.
I've wanted to fish there.
Oh, man. There's 2 things that happen in Alaska. Either you gone fishing or you didn't. If you come home without fish, you didn't go fishing.
I know.
One of the ways I recommend you get there and take your son with you too is that go to Bellingham, Washington. Okay, take the ferry. You take the ferry all the way up, and it's probably gonna let you up at there's a Mays Junction. One of them junctions is called up there.
So it's letting you out south of Anchorage then.
Very south of Anchorage.
So how long is that ferry ride?
3 to 5 days.
Oh, wait, we ain't talking. Okay. I thought we were talking about it like from here to there ferry. Like ferry across the.
No, because you're going to stop at a couple of these islands here because you got to let people off and on.
Right. You're talking about like a bus on the water.
Yeah. Yeah,
it sounds fun though.
It really is because they have
though,
cabins. They got little cabins in there, right? Or you can sleep under the lights, under the heated lamps.
I see.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounds like an adventure.
It is
in its own.
It is, and I recommend you be on vacation.
Yeah,
at least 2-week vacation at least.
Yeah.
And then because once you get there, you got to drive through Canada. You know what I'm saying? You got another 15-hour drive through Canada.
Woo.
But it's cool. Bring some money.
You taking a long way.
Bring some money. Or you can take the ferry all the way up to Anchorage.
Hey, is that a goat?
A goat?
Dog. Okay, it's a dog.
Oh.
White dog out there. Like
they got a big white dog.
I'm like, what?
Or the ferry can take you all the way up to Anchorage.
Right.
You get up to Anchorage, and then you can, Courtney Shelton. Hey, Courtney, how you doing?
Hey, Courtney.
We ain't gonna talk about Courtney. Last time Courtney was on here, she talked some crazy stuff back from like 7th, 8th grade. But anyway, or we can go all the way up to Anchorage and take the ferry up.
It sounds beautiful, but I don't know, man. I got a thing for airplanes. I can just touch.
You probably touch and go, huh? Yeah.
I can touch down where we're at, and then the small airline. It used to be Era Aviation.
Okay.
But we get like a cut rate deal on them, and we could fly from Anchorage on one of those small planes to, what is it? Talkeetna or something like that.
And you can fly those places up there too.
So we could hit in Anchorage and literally be, on the water fishing and
the same day type thing.
A day.
Or you can do it that way.
You
could do it that way. I like flying.
I mean the ferry. I've taken some ferries, but not multiple day ferries. Like the ferry from Belize City to like Ambergris Cay or something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, fly up to Anchorage. You know what I'm saying? Then go fishing. Go get sit in the river and go see the glacier and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I've been there for 6 years. But then
I love it.
Once you get done, hey, Sergeant Major, hey, Michael, how y'all doing? A couple of my veteran buddies walking in.
What's going on, guys?
All right.
How you doing?
How y'all
So
doing?
again, we're live, guys. So we're at the Between Brothers Barbershop, 2413 Midland Boulevard.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. And also, anyone can get it. I don't care if you're 2 hours old or 200 years old. I will clown you, and you will get clowned, and I can be clowned too. Anyone can get it. So I am a clown, as you can hear in the background. So anyway, Eric, another thing is, I noticed you have a nice timepiece on your arm there. I noticed you're a watch collector, and the thing is, I have a love for watches too.
Did I tell you before that I was a watch collector? I told you that.
We're buddies, Eric.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things we've talked about before.
I say stuff and don't remember, but this is a.
Michael Leal, what's up, Saul? One of the guys.
How you doing, young man?
All right, Michael Leal. He's one of the guys I served in the Army with as well. We were in Alaska. Speaking of Alaska, we were in Alaska together. Michael Leal, person online here, so that's Michael right there as well.
This
nice timepiece.
Let's show him. It's got a nice Swiss movement in it. It's nothing like super expensive, but this is actually not an automatic. It's a manual wind.
Manual. Okay.
So about once a day you got to wind it up.
Right, about every 12 hours or so. Huh?
It'll hold for a couple of days. But,
okay.
I don't have anything super expensive.
Right.
I really have gotten into more like the vintage stuff, like the 1960s Seikos and some of that kind of stuff. And you'd be surprised at what you can pick up at a pawn shop for $50.
Believe it or not, yeah.
The people don't know what they have,
right?
And
right.
If you're into it, whatever it is you're into and you collect, you know what you're kind of doing. So
right. What got you into watches, man?
My dad was a watch collector.
Mine too.
Before me. My dad was a watch collector, so I don't know. Maybe it's in the blood or something. I just,
My dad loved three things in this world: his sons, watches, and big women. My dad said she wasn't no lady if she won at least 280. But my dad was an expensive watch guy. He had a few Rolexes, a couple Movados and stuff like that. I actually have one of his Movados that I have before he passed away. And I got a little bit more responsibility than my dad had. So I can't afford many watches of that. But I do collect watches. I like watches. And I don't wear them as much anymore because it goes from the Army days.
Right.
You never know when I got to bang my arm against something or anything like that. But I do have a few watches.
I actually sold two Movados.
Did you really?
2 months back, yeah.
Really?
I started out, with some quartz watches. Mm-hmm. And then once I got the bug for automatic and manual watches, I sold all the quartz ones off because when you have 12 or 15 watches and you're trying to keep batteries in all of them.
Yeah, that gets to be a lot.
That becomes a problem, like a logistic problem.
Logistics issue.
You're when you have frequent battery miles at the watch shop, it becomes a problem. So my dad did it before me years, and I said, man, these quartz watches I can't see getting rid of all of them. And after a couple years of the battery business, I was like, I'm done.
And I also realize and understand that you are a connoisseur of fine shoes.
I like shoes. I like watches, and I like bags.
Bags.
Like briefcases. Whether they
satchel
be
bags,
canvas,
cases,
like when I saw your bag and you explained to me it was an Army helmet bag.
Yes.
I just have a thing for things that carry stuff. And I mean, I may not even have anything to carry in it.
But you want it.
Right.
Gotta have it.
I can't explain it.
Right.
You know, it just is.
Right. So Eric, so tell me, man. So if you're out and about one day and you like at and you see a thrift store or antique shop, or you one of those like, ooh, I gotta stop and see what they got. Are you one of them kind of guys?
It just depends on what kind of mood I'm in. You know, and I'm one of these guys like this thing I was telling you. This I've never worn it before.
Right.
It's been on my hanger. This was Daniel Camille, and I think it was $100 something originally. Right. And I got it at a thrift market for like $4 or $5. You know,
you can't beat that.
So I'm a big proponent of looking good. Right. Trying to that's one of these things when you want a job, dress like you should for that job. Learn the etiquette. Dress to impress. Yes. But it doesn't mean you have to spend a lot of money. Right. You can get things, just insanely cheap.
Now, it's funny you say that because when I first moved here, I've always been one of those, you dress for the occasion. Right. And then I learned now, I'm a city boy, and to me, Fort Smith is a little bit slower than what I'm used to. Right. I've learned dressing for the occasion means clean pair of jeans. Right. Clean pair of jeans, pair of boots. And maybe what you got on up top here.
I'll say this. Like I told you, I came across this sweater or cardigan. I hate to say I'm wearing a cardigan. Yeah, that's kind of but
let's call it a sweater. We're gonna call it a sweater.
It is.
Can it be a sweater, everybody? Can it be a sweater?
It is what it is.
Appreciate you. It's a sweater.
Wooden buttons.
It's a sweater, man.
It's a sweater.
It's a sweater.
And I told myself yesterday, I said, you know what? I'm going to dress up, just for the heck of it. Right. And that's when I remember me and you were going to do this sit down today. Right. And so I thought, I'm going to go ahead and throw a tie with it too and stuff because, why wouldn't I? I've had the privilege of doing some press releases for AA when we start a new service, like when I was managing job.
Now, when he says AA, he means American Airlines, not Alcoholics Anonymous. Right.
And why would I dress down for your audience? Why would I not respect? I respect that. I appreciate that. Seriously, this is a Fort Smith thing, right? Right. About Fort Smith. So why would I dress down for? I'm not saying it's necessary, but I'm just saying, I think it's a way of showing respect. Right.
And it's funny you say that because this is a barbershop. Right, and where I'm from, you wear whatever you want to wear at the shop.
And you see how I come in here.
Yeah. You wear whatever you want to wear at the shop.
Looking like a bum,
But hey, who wears a 3-piece suit? Who wears a 3-piece suit to the shop? You know what I'm saying? However, this is the shop, and if they were putting out a certain image, there's nothing wrong with a sweater or a pair of clean jeans. You know what I'm saying? Wear a sweater. What's up, Jesse Bass? How you doing? You know what I'm saying?
It's about what we're. It's about what we're doing. If if I'm getting a haircut, it's one thing, but there may be a pretty girl watching. Today or something.
There might be. My wife will, will say, "How you doing?" And I hope you're here for business. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But hey, man, this is a day in the life at the shop. This is shop talk. We talk about any and everything here at the shop.
Pretty much just how it is when there's no camera.
When there's no camera, this is how we do it any other time. Anyone can get it from 2 hours old to 200 years old. You know what I'm saying? We got Eric Montgomery here. Like I said, we live. You can hear anything you going to hear. Anyone can get it. We got Eric Montgomery here from Fort Smith, Arkansas. We at Between Brothers Barbershop, 2413 Midland. Y'all come see us. Eric, thanks again for coming out, man. We appreciate
my pleasure, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
My pleasure. My son loves you.
Elijah, that's my buddy, man.
My son loves you.
Let me tell you about his son, man. His son put the moves on my wife the other day on the phone.
Come on.
Hey, Camellia, how you doing? Hey, what you got on, girl? When we come take you out on a date? His son was putting the moves on my wife. She was like, yo, what's up with you?
He just turned 8, you guys. So he's exaggerating. Hey.
Anyone can get it. You know what I'm saying?
You were here.
But he was cool, though.
Yeah, you know what? He feels safe here. you know, my son has autism, you know, as I've discussed with you.
Right.
And you see how happy he is here.
Yo, that's my buddy, man.
He feels safe. He loves you, man. And
that's
so,
my
you know, after the first cut, like, I never seen him as excited to come back to the barber, you know, because some barbers just don't have the patience.
You got to have patience.
They just don't have the patience, you know, to deal with kids. And, you know, I think a lot of people wouldn't know Elijah necessarily if you didn't tell them. Wouldn't know that he had autism.
You're right.
But you know, when you're dealing with kids, you got to have you just got a good vibe. And I think I think he can really, even more than we can. I think he picks up on vibes.
Exactly.
From people,
yes.
You know, and so I trust his instincts. You know, like he kind of vibrates towards certain people, and so anytime he does that, you know, I tend to kind of trust his.
Instinct.
I think he can fill people out better than I can, you know?
True.
So he loves you.
I appreciate that,
and the fact that he loves coming here and enjoys his time here and can get a haircut, you know, that means everything to me.
Because
I mean, God knows I don't need a haircut.
You do, man. You got to line it up, man. You got to line it up, man. You got to line it all everything up, man.
But I do appreciate you for finally getting me, you know, I finally guys decided that I was going to, you know, let my beard grow out a little bit. I'm still trying.
Poquito.
And you know, let somebody finally line it up professionally, and so Drew is who I saw, you know, and he got me taken care of. Man, so I know you guys have a lot of choices here in Fort Smith. I didn't come here to plug the barbershop, but I know you have a lot of places and opportunities and to get a haircut in Fort Smith. But this really is a special place. I'll just say that, and also catch you a flight. Airplanes are one of the safest places you can be. That's a scientific fact. I think there have been 44 people in the entire world who have caught COVID, and it was linked to air travel. Out of 1.2 billion people that traveled in that time period. So I won't go into all the specifics of how frequently the air is filtered through HEPA filters and all the other safety cleaners we're using and stuff. But I flew with little man and my family back in June, and so you know, obviously I wouldn't ask anybody to do anything that
you wouldn't do.
It's safe enough for little man. It's safe enough for my heart.
Right.
So I can tell you, you know, if
I'm gonna tell you, you let something happen to little man, you're gonna have to talk about it.
Hey, listen,
we're gonna have to talk about it.
Hey, I'll go John Wick.
Hey, that's what I'm thinking. Man. That's what I'm thinking. I got some friends in high places.
I got a few myself.
Yeah, you already know what I'm talking about. Hey, man, again, appreciate you coming out, man. And I thank y'all for listening, maintain and stay humble. Thank y'all for coming out. Bless y'all. Y'all have a good day. Thank y'all.